Welcome to the Edge of NFT podcast with your hosts, Jeff Kelley, Eathan Janney, and Josh Kriger. We aim to bring you not only the top 1% of what's going on with NFTs today, but what will stand the test of time. We explore the nuts and bolts and the business side, but also the human element of how NFTs are changing the way we interact with the things that we love. This podcast is for the futurists and dreamers, the disruptors and creators, the fans and connectors, and the makers and doers that are pumped about this ecosystem and driving where it goes next.
I want to know about ANFTs. Can you tell me where that came about and bring us up to speed on this concept of an ANFT?
Yeah, great. So as you guys can see in the market right now, a lot of these companies are focusing on brand building. A massive example, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the CryptoPunks, people and companies are building brands from scratch, new brands that people are buying into, and either collectibles, or some of them have some financial utilities. So we wanted to do that, but we wanted to start different. What nobody was doing back then was nobody was looking at IP acquisition. Everybody wanted to build their own thing. And Ethernity strategy was always, instead of build our own thing in the start, let's go acquire and license things that already have value in the real world and transcend them into this digital environment, right? So we went a year full on before we even launched on IP acquisition. You know, we do deals with the Muhammad Ali estate, Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe, that does with ABG, they're one of our very early investors. Obviously, you guys know the Leo Messi deal with the license that we own. The Shaquille O'Neal thing we did. We have over 300 licenses right now. Some of them are exclusive. Most of them are exclusive. Some others are not. But yeah, you know, we did a deal with Copa America. I don't know if you guys soccer fans. Probably some of the listeners will be. We did a deal with Copa America. We're trying to do something with the World Cup. Not sure if it's going to happen yet. But yeah, our mission was always go get brands and individuals that have actual brand value and transcend them into the blockchain.
Well, let me just say, like, Jeff and I, we had a fashion company, and we always saw this digital twin for these interchangeable patches that we did on a company called Canopy. And I went to the licensing expo. I met with ABG. I met with the NFLPA, and you know, these were not top of mind ideas 3-4 years ago, right? But once the sort of the I guess the bell went off, like everyone was intrigued, but also very cautious. How did you convince these big brands with really prestigious IP to go with you?
I mean, I think that
for the listener, by the way, I just have to call this out. Nick is looking very proud of himself while you ask that question. So I think he's got a good he's got a good story.
Hours. Like I ended up having like a record at some point saying the same thing to every single person. Like I had to like record my voice and play to them, because it was like the early days before even the boom, guys. It was a nightmare to explain to all these big and we spoke to everyone and anyone. Like anyone you guys can tell me, you can tell me, you can name any company I think we have spoken to. We've grinded so hard the first year, because the hardest part was to convince them that this is real. So our deal structure was very weird. It was like, sure, we want to try it. We will throw numbers out. They'll say, how can you guys sell that? Who will buy this as a digital image? And we ended up saying, don't worry, they will buy it. So all of our licensing deals in the early days looked like that. If we do that and we hit that certain amount, it renews up to 3 years. So we're in a very advantageous position right now, because now the market exploded, right? So our kind of hard work and bet paid off.
The views and opinions expressed on the Edge of NFT podcast reflect solely those views and opinions of the show creators and its guests. We're learning as we go, just like you. Please make sure to do your own research. Our podcast is not financial advice. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. You understand that you are using any and all information available on or through this podcast at your own risk.